Yo, what's up, everybody, and welcome to the Weekend Wagers, where we get you ready for the weekend with a 12 pack of plays. Well, listen, I am Daniel Greer, and Mark and Robby will join me very shortly. But if you're missing out on our daily show, well, brother, you are completely missing out on a more condensed Weekend Wagers type show where we get you your plays, but also we hit on the biggest stories that are out right now, as well as breaking news. And then we tell you who's going deep that night in our daily dinger segment. And Mark and Robby, a lot better than me. And more so, it's probably just Mark because he is the master of calling his shot right now. And speaking of shot, today on the show, we do have a new entry into our Saloon Shot, and that is our guy, Preston Bostein of JusticeStatSports.com. If you want to go ahead and get 30 free days, you can do it right now. Just use the code BTT30, and you can get more of our plays as always, as well as Preston's plays. But we like to call Preston Boom Boom. So Boom Boom's getting into the saloon today. And as always, we give you your 12 plus plays as we get through the entire weekend. And today it's a play on Sunday. Mark's got you with the UFL, but let's not waste much more time in getting to the guys, except for we got to show you how we did last week. And look at this beautiful board. I think that's an 8-4 overall. And if you're watching the show live, I gave you a plus 155 with Quinn Priester there. He was able to rack up 3+ walks, as I knew he would. And so at that point, we're just rolling into the weekend. But I'm not going to wait the guys any longer. Boys, how are y'all? How are you? Mark, what's up, man?
DG doing fantastic. Excited. Look, we just came off a great weekend last weekend. This week's been kind of good for us in general. Ready to roll into this weekend. I think we got some fantastic plays.
Yeah, fantastic play as always. And Robby, what you got, sir, today? How are you, man?
What's up, fellas? Man, I'm doing good. Also, I gave out Alex Bregman home run last week. That cashed along with his hits, runs, RBI. So solid weekend last weekend. Let's do it again.
I like it. I do have a question. I put in a special request, and I know y'all will appreciate this because I do see some comments in the chat. Draymond knows all about text. Yeah, no doubt. I actually asked Raphael, and I said, hey, any idea on the odds of we getting like maybe Draymond 2 more texts and getting suspended for a game? And he said, I don't know, but hold on. I'll make sure I get back to you. So he's put out his feelers and finding out what's happening, because if we have a chance to bet on Draymond losing his cool, I'm going to bet on it 100% of the time. So it should be, should be a good time.
Playable to -250.
Yeah. Whatever the odds are, we're on it. All right, Mark. So you had a better weekend overall. So let's go ahead and start, because you do have plays all the way through Sunday. So go ahead and give us your Friday play, sir.
Well, let's start Friday off with a little baseball. We're going to take the Detroit Tigers on the run line against Texas. That's at -120. Detroit has been an absolute machine when it comes to the run line. They've covered in 24 of 38 games this season, 12 of 16 at home. They've won 4 of their last 5, and they just rang up 11 runs yesterday. They get to face Patrick Corbin, who comes in with a 6+ ERA and a whip that's north of 1.7. Tarek Skubal has been a beast, except when I need him to close out a Nerfy parlay. Still a little bitter about that one. Other than that, dude's got a 1.9 ERA at home and one of the lowest walk rates in the league. This is a classic mismatch. I love Detroit's offense. They've woken up, and they're, I just love this one. Tigers by at least 2. You want me to keep going? I'll keep going. I'm also taking the Florida Toronto. I'm not picking a side in this one. I've learned my lesson, but I'm going with the goalie for the team that needs to win. We're going to take Sergei Bobrovsky over 21.5 saves at -130. This is a buy spot on a bounce back effort from Bobrovsky. The number set at 21.5, and honestly, it's just a little too light. Toronto's averaging nearly 26 shots on goal a game, and that's when they've been playing on the road just during the playoffs. This is a must-win for Florida, which means their urgency is going to change everything. It's going to change the way that they attack. It's going to change the way that they play defense. I love this spot for Toronto to counter that offensive with plenty of shot volume. And at 26 shots on goal a game, he gets us well over this line in a hurry.
All right. So now you have a little bit on the diamond, a little on the rink. And then now you have me not muted pulling a mark. And so that's that's what was happening, Mark. I expect you to keep going. I did not expect you to for me to need to talk. And so I blame you, but I'm an idiot. So we'll just kind of blame both of us. All right. I'm going to go to my next plays, and these are one-hit parlays. So you know that I am trying to push the button and nothing is happening. There we go. Something happened finally. All right. So we have a one-hit parlay here of Zach Nito and Mike Yastrzemski. Both guys are hitting very well, but both have really good matchups. Nito is actually on a 13-game hitting streak, which is obviously good. And so anytime with baseball, I like playing trends on hitters that are seeing the ball well. And so we're going to go ahead and ride Neto there. And then Yastrzemski got a great matchup against Chris Paddock, hitting 467 versus him. Both these guys are good hitters, both leadoff hitters. We're going to go with the one-hit parlay at plus 102. And then the other one, minus 108. And you're going to give me Trey Turner and Freddie Freeman. Shame on you. The books are wrong, and I don't get it. Trey Turner is amazing, and he has a great matchup, as well as Freddie Freeman, who is probably the hottest hitter right now, in my opinion. But both of these guys are coming off of games. I guess Freddie not last night, but games where they're getting 2+ hits a game. Both these guys easily get a hit. We cash at minus 108. Robbie, what you got, man?
Yeah, so we're going to go with two guys with the name March in their last name. Brad Marchand first, 1+ point at plus 105. Look, man, there's not been a lot of consistency in the Stanley Cup playoffs, but one player who has been consistent is Brad Marchand. He has a point in 7 of his last 10 games overall, with 9 points in that span. He has a point in 72% of his last 26 games versus Toronto. And more recently, he has 9 points in his last 8 games versus Toronto. You know, Florida's back at home. They're going to have to get some offense going. It's not really been the offense. It's been their defense that's been sucking in this series. Toronto just keeps scoring on them. I like Florida tonight. I like Brad Marchand. And in the late game, give me Mason Marchment over 1.5 shots on goal. This is minus 125 at DraftKings, or you can do minus 114 at FanDuel. Just remember, at FanDuel, he has to hit this in regulation. So I'm going to go buy a little bit more of the juice at DraftKings with a minus 125. Mason has hit this in 6 of his last 10 overall. It's just been Miko mania lately for Dallas. He's the only one that seems to be doing anything, but it's getting him the win, so let it ride, right? But he did have a 7-game streak against Winnipeg where he hit this prop. He has 49 shot attempts in his last 14 games versus Winnipeg and 30 shot attempts in his last 10 games. I like some other guys, hopefully, to step up for Dallas tonight. And if Dallas wins tonight, that series is all but over in my book. Nice. And then lastly, we're going to go to a hit parlay as well. Going to take Corey Seager and Manny Machado, 1+ hit at minus 110. Look, Manny has been on fire lately. He has 9 hits in 10 games and 16 hits in 20 games overall. He's going against Antonio Senzatella. Senzatella. Yep. Okay. 10 plate appearances, 4 hits, 2 singles, 1 double, and 1 home run against Mr. Senzatella. Corey Seager has 9 plate appearances, 6 hits, 5 singles, and 1 double versus Mr. Scooble. He has hit in 8 of his last 10 and 15 of his last 20 overall.
Man, that's just beautiful, beautiful music to my ears. All right, so real quick, let's go look back at these because even though I am a professional hockey capper, I like to make sure everybody is up to speed. So Brad Marchand plays for who, Robbie?
Plays for Florida.
And I got a question. How do you go over 1+ point? Is that is that new or is it? I'm just confused. So you go over the 1 or you go over. I think we just need to go over the rainbow. And then Mason Marchand, he needs to go over 2+ shots on goals. So maybe that's confusing too. But who does Mason play for, sir?
He plays for Dallas.
All right.
Sorry, the 0.5s, you know, it throws everyone off because I didn't put a 0.5 somewhere, even though it's not a realistic thing. But yeah, whatever.
Behind the scenes, I last week I said to them, hey, let's quit using the over when we use 2+ and stuff like that. And so that's why I'm just busting their balls. So having a good time. So figured y'all would enjoy a little bit of seeing Robbie squirm. But there is some stuff in the chat, and I know that Mark has answered it. But Joe wants to know, is my phone off by an hour? No, Joe. We just We had to move it up an hour due to other issues, personal things in life. And so we could not do the show normal 3 p.m. Eastern. So we went an hour early. So we go live. The other option was recording and putting it out at 3. That's zero fun. And so we're thinking we might even look at moving this up an hour due to other things of trying to make sure that we have all the ability to be able to hop on the show more often. And so with things changing, we might have to move it up an hour just because, and I'll be honest, it's me. Okay. It's my schedule. My schedule is whack right now. And so I might have to throw it up an hour earlier. And so we might have to move it. So stay tuned, but nothing should be changing just yet. But it could any day now. All right. Joe, don't come at me, bro. I watch all the hockey games.
And this is why this show needs to be live, because where else is Joe going to vent to us? Because nobody leaves comments on these videos. So this is a good thing.
Yeah, this is your vent session. And then Japan wants to know, some guy named DG said he gives out UFL picks. I didn't say I did. I said the Weekend Wager show does. That's not me. It's the man in the middle. But let's go ahead and keep it rolling on a Saturday. Mark, go ahead and lead us off again, sir.
You got it. Saturday, we're going with the Capitals Hurricanes. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. First period under 1.5 goals. You get this at -105. This series has been an absolute clinic in tight checking playoff hockey. Both games, 1 and 2, to start this series, not a first period goal has been scored in either one of them. Carolina has outshot Washington 12-5 in the opening frame of game 1 and games 2, and 7-5 in game 2. There was only 9 total shots registered in game 2. I love this spot for the under to hit. Both teams are playing real tight. Neither one wanted to make a mistake, except for all the fights they keep getting into. Other than that, this thing stays under.
I like it. And so on this, you obviously have the play on the game. But do you have a pick on the game if you had to have one right now? Washington Capitals, obviously in Carolina. Do you have any suggestion on that, Mark?
I think this is a great spot for Washington to get a win back. Carolina has really been outperforming. They've overplayed on most of the metrics. Washington has they have a higher Corsi rating. They have outdone everything that Carolina has done. So I think Washington can actually sneak this one out.
Robby?
Yeah, I have to take Washington as well. Just going back to even game 1, you outshot Washington by about 30 shots on goal, and yet you still needed overtime to win. Something doesn't sit right with me on that. So I think Washington takes this one, and maybe Carolina takes the other one at home.
Okay. Carolina last night did not get the win. I think that, Robby, I think you picked on the Weekday Wagers. You picked Carolina to win, and somehow 3-1, the Capitals end up getting it done. So listen, we can't be right about everything, but I feel like it was a good play call. All right, I'm going to go to my Saturday play, and we're going to go to the hardwood here. And then I have Derek White over 25.5 points, rebounds, and assists. It's at -115. The cheapest line I actually found was at BetMGM, but you can go over there and find this, and it should still be up. I had it right before the show. But Derek White has been averaging, 30 plus against the Knicks. This is a must-win game for the Celtics. So any chance I can get a guy in a must-win game doing the other things, rebounds, assists, as well as the points, he's scoring like crazy as well. They look to stop Tatum. So that leaves guys like Derek White open. And then I'm going to go with the other game, and it's Jimmy Butler over 6.5 rebounds at -112. I said it last time. He should have over 6.5 at -125 was a gimme. He got to 7, and it was a game that was just kind of weird. Well, this game is at home for Golden State. I think Jimmy Butler continues to rebound because it's a game rebound type of game for the Warriors right now. So I think he gets 7, and I'll probably ladder him up all the way to 10 again because I think he can easily get there because he has to. But those are my 2 plays, and I expect both of them to look really good this weekend. But Robby, what you got, sir?
Yeah, thanks for that Butler rebound cash last night. That was nice to see. He didn't get your 10, but he got 7, which is good enough for me. So tomorrow we're going to go Sebastian Aho, 1+ assist at +115. Look, Aho has an assist in 7 of his last 10 games. He has an assist in 7 of his last 10 games with 9 assists overall. And he has an assist in 4 of his last 5 versus Washington. Carolina returns home. I don't see a lot of player props in this game, but this is one that has been consistent other than Andrei Svechnikov, who has burned me twice this week. You're banned. No more of him. Some guy who doesn't burn me, Leon Draisaitl, 1+ goal. I got this in today at plus 105. You might wait till tomorrow to see if other books have it better, but I found this one at FanDuel at plus 105. He has 6 goals in his last 10 games, and he has 4 straight goals with a game versus Vegas. He's also a beast at home with 7 goals in his last 10 home games. So take my Mr. Consistent Leon Draisaitl and cash that one as well.
Leon Draisaitl for who?
Edmonton Oilers.
I knew that. I knew it was in Canada, eh? But
Hey.
I liked your bonus bet. I like the fact that we get a little baker's dozen because Mark, some people have asked for the UFL. You provide it. You hit on UFL last Sunday. Let's stay in the well, baby. Let's keep it rolling here. 2 for 2. What you got on Sunday?
I'm going to stay in the pocket and keep it close to your guys' home because we're going to go with the St. Louis Battlehawks -4 against the Memphis Showboats.
Oh, God.
You can get that at -110. The Battlehawks are playing the Showboats and are only laying 4 points in this one. And honestly, this number feels like a misfire. The Blackhawks are averaging nearly 22 points a game, riding a 2-game winning streak. They own a 13.25 margin of victory when they win. They don't just win, they sink you. And speaking of sinking, enter Memphis. They have the league's worst. They're giving up 21 points a game, getting blasted by nearly 8 points every time they lose. Offensively, they're barely, and I mean barely, it's like 15.01, clearing 15 points a game. This isn't a coin flip. This is tactical warfare. And St. Louis, you have sunk the Showboats.
That is definitely a good play. I don't want to use other words. I love the play. The Memphis Showboats absolutely suck. Like, let's just be honest. I do have something I want to bring up. Like, it's so funny because here in Memphis, like, you know, Memphis is a small town, mid city. Like, it's not a huge city, not really a small city, but it's a fairly, you know, decent sized city. But everybody knows everybody. Everybody knows about everything. It's small town because of that. So we start asking people because they come up to my wife's school and we start, you know, just people have conversations. And so where are you from? Where do you live at? Where do y'all stay at? Nobody, I don't know if you knew this, nobody lives in the actual city to where they play. Did you know that?
No.
No Memphis Showboats live here in Memphis. Okay,
Well,
that's my expression. I was taken aback, as they say. So I found out, where do y'all live? Oh, we live where everybody lives, in Arlington, Texas. So I said, hold on a second. So you're saying you all live? He said most of everybody, except I think there might be different divisions. He tried to explain it. There was a bunch of kids around, but I guess maybe it's divisions or whatever it is. They all practice at the same facility. They all live in the same, like, I wouldn't say dormitory, but it's just like a I guess apartment complex.
Yeah.
They have it. They live there. They eat there. They practice there, and they just pretty much just change out the facility where you get your practice time. All right, next team up, next team up. Yes, that is how the UFL is done. There's no ties to the city. So I laugh because the Memphis Showboats, they do suck. Nobody goes to the games because nobody cares about these dudes who live in Texas and come play football for us once every other weekend. It just doesn't make sense. It's stupid.
That's insane. So every time they're in Memphis, playing a game in Memphis, which should be a home game, it's actually a road game?
Every game's a road game in the UFL.
That's
because everybody's just cheering for football.
I guess maybe not if it's San Antonio. I mean, but they suck too. That's amazing.
Yeah.
So they take the slow boat to Memphis, the Showboat slow boat.
When you put them on a barge and just kind of keep going.
But
yes, it's very random, and I did not know about that, and so I figured I would share that with you all because that was news to me, and I thought it was interesting. So that's how it is. So anyway, those are our plays. Those are our 13 plays. Now that Robby gave us an extra one just for you all, a little bonus bet, but it should be another good weekend, kind of cashing those. But we have to make sure we get into the Saloon Shot because we know there's somebody out there waiting to see his new mug. So let's go waste any more time and let's get to the Saloon Shot. All right, we have a new entrant into the saloon, and look at that beautiful mug. We got Preston Bostain there, and if you zoom in, you got a little engraving on his mug there with a little boom boom. I thought it was a good little nice touch there for his mug. So we now have 3 people into the saloon. So go ahead, if you have a play or if you have plays, whether it's no more than 4, that's our rule. It's got to be plus 1,000 or more, but it has to be less than 4. So you can't give me a CVS receipt of guys that you're going to be able to get into the saloon with. Okay. We don't take CVS receipts for the saloon shots. So 1 or up to 4 plus 1,000 or more, and you can get into the saloon. We have 1 guy that is in the saloon that is on video. So Robby, what do you have today, sir?
Yeah, first off, congrats, Preston. It wouldn't be a show if 2 Pikes from us or 2 guys from the same fraternity, Pikes, didn't get into the bar. So well done, my brother. My saloon shot goes like this tonight. Sam Reinhart, anytime goal. He has 8 goals in his last 13 games versus Toronto, 6 goals in his last 6 home games versus Toronto. He's burned me the last 2 nights or the last 2 games, but he's back at home. This is his last shot as well, or he's going to be on the list. Sam Bennett, the other half of the book of Sam, anytime goal. He has 2 straight home games with a goal versus Toronto and has 6 goals in his last 7 games overall versus Toronto. And then lastly, Nikolaj Ehlers. He has a point in 7 of his last 11 games versus Dallas, and he has a point in 4 of his last 7 home games versus Dallas. I did this at Fanatics. You can put it all together and get a boost at plus 1741. Without the boost, it was around 1350.
All right. So make sure you go ahead and get that in. So either way, it's plus 13 plus. You can get the boost in plus 1741. I'm going to go ahead and go next. I got a little ladder play here, and it's a 1,500. 1 guy, 1 solo shot. Derek White, 10 plus rebounds. Derek White has been really good for this Boston team. Over the last 2 games, he's averaging 10 rebounds. He had 11 in the first game, 9 in the second game. His number, I was just pulling it up. It's 4.5 rebounds at minus 162 is the best number you could get. You could probably get over 5.5 at plus money somewhere. Pretty sure that would be a good hit. I do like his points, rebounds, and assists because he does it multiple ways. But because the guy has averaged 10 rebounds against the Knicks in the last 2 games, they have to win this game. He's going to be rebounding. Plus 1,500 didn't make sense. And I also looked at his double-double because that makes sense to me. It's at like plus 1,000. So I just let go of the assist and said F-U-C-K, and I just went with the rebounds to a ladder here of the rebounds at 10 plus at plus 1,500. So Mark, a little diamond and ice parlay. What you got, sir?
Yeah, and I know I had told Joe earlier in the chat that I wasn't going to pick a side in this one, but this one just screams to me. And this is my saloon shot. So, yeah, I'm going for it. We're going to take, first of all, on the diamond, Milwaukee Brewer Christian Yelich to hit a home run. Look, does he have a history against the Tampa Bay pitcher? No, he doesn't. However, what he does do against left-handed pitching is he hits bombs. The guy's got 6 home runs at night, went away, and the wind is blowing out to right field. Love the spot for him to get one tonight. Pairing that with the Panthers on the puck line. That's right. Tonight is Florida's night. They get it done. They get it done by multiple goals, and I get the belly up to the bar.
Mark, I got a question. Something happened. I believe it might have been last weekend. I'm not exactly sure. Everything's kind of ran together, but I don't know what day it actually was. Was it on the weekday or weekend wagers?
Weekend.
The weekend.
It was a weekend wagers. Yeah, you said something about the Panthers winning. I don't think they've won yet.
I know.
anything that you want to say about that?
Oh, I gave that out on Weekday Wagers following. That was on Monday with
That's
Rob
what
and I apologized profusely. I look, I can admit when I had the wrong side in this one.
Twice.
Yeah, but it's not going to happen a third time. And
do you want to bet?
What are we talking?
I'm just saying, like, I'm just curious. Like, they haven't won yet. The Panthers haven't won yet, and you're over here saying that yes, the sweep is still alive, 100%. Like, yes, on the Toronto Maple Leaves side. So I'm just.
Are you kidding? Toronto wins the cup. I'm all over Toronto now. I am the biggest Leaf fan you could find. Go Toronto! Look at this. It's not a Maple Leaf fan, but do I love Toronto? Hell yes, I do.
Oh my God. Wow. Well, I saw that and I wanted to make sure we hit on it because you're pretty steadfast in that one, Mark. And you kind of thought that they would sweep them, but unfortunately, the team that you thought would sweep them hasn't won a game yet. So now you're
I said
doubling up.
Florida gets swept. Maybe I misspoke.
I believe we all heard wrong. So we'll see. Yes, as Joe says, I've never seen a brown Blue Jays hat. One, that's funny because it just shows like that's random. First of all, is it even real? Is it like a sticker on a hat? Maybe. It's probably not even a real Blue Jays hat, to be honest.
It is an absolute, real, authentic Blue Jays hat bought at a Toronto Texas Ranger baseball game last July. I was there. I won't go back to my banter about all the things I love about Toronto, but yes, I was in Toronto last year.
All right. Well, either way, let's go ahead and move on. I'm going to go to the chat real quick, boys, and I'm going to kind of put you on the spot. But we do have some plays I want to get into, and this is from Japan. Brad Katona, one or the other. Yep, sure. Money line. There's something to do with Canada here, but it's plus 123. Anybody know anything about this?
He was on the Ultimate
Japan
Fighter.
likes it. Yeah, I was just gonna say, if Japan likes it, yeah, that's all I need to know.
Robbie?
He was on the reality show, The Ultimate Fighter, I believe. I know I've heard his name before. So yeah.
Okay. All right. So Japan, very good at UFC. So go ahead and get those in if you do like them. And we do have another one. These were the entries into it. I'm sorry, Dan said that you can get the Draisaitl on Bet365 at plus 110. So if you want to go ahead and look at that, you can. But Joe is in the saloon already, and he's trying to rub our noses in it a little bit. But he has a plus 1240 entry. Tikachuk goal. Judge home run, Ohtani over 2.5 hits, runs, and RBIs. So Kachuk goal. I had to fix myself to say it wrong the first time because I was like, how does he say it wrong? Kachuk goal, Judge home run, Ohtani 2+ or 3+ hits, runs, and RBIs. And then Preston gave us another one, a little back-to-back, little Freeman Cal Raleigh plus 1912. And so if you like that, I do like Cal Raleigh. He's hitting a lot better, and I almost used him for a 1+ hit on the hit parlay. But it's just I think he might get walked more. That's my only issue going against Gossman. I already have that on the play this morning. That's the only way I stay away from Cal Raleigh is because I think Gossman could actually walk him, and because of that limits my ability to get a hit and also get a home run. But either way, I do like it. But that's all we have on the chat on the plays. I think everybody likes being here a little bit earlier. I'm kind of liking this too. We might have to make some decisions on what we want to do, but we won't talk about that just yet. But what we want to talk about is our weekend vibes. And so because of that, it is going to be Mother's Day weekend. So I figured we'd get some vibes. And so whatever, boys, you want to talk about, Robbie, go ahead and lead us off, sir.
Yeah, man, it's all about mamas. So I'm going to talk about mine for a minute. Look, man, I've got the best mother in the world. She raised me and my sister virtually on her own because I won't get into any personal history, but she's been over backwards for me, my sister. There was days where I remember as a kid going into the kitchen at 2 or 3 a.m., watching her cry, trying to balance a checkbook. We weren't poor by any means, but she always kept clothes on my back, food on the table, and a roof over our head. So shout out to you, Mom. Also, my stepmother, who has taken care of my youngest son this last year. Thank you. Love you. And my grandmother, who is still with us. She always rubbed my head and back as a kid, like if I was having a bad day. So I always remember those. And if I don't mention my wife, I will absolutely get reamed. So happy Mother's Day, honey. Thanks for being with me and putting up with me all these years. And thanks for being a great mother to our 3 boys.
Well, damn. I don't know if I'm following that up because I will, I'm not as good with that. So, Mark, good luck. Don't screw it up. That's all I got to say. I thought those were great.
Yeah, absolutely. This weekend is absolutely about moms. To my wonderful wife, I hope you have a wonderful, wonderful day. And I'm sure that you will, because I know she's going to a concert with her sister. So she's looking forward to that. To my daughters, 2 of my 3 daughters who are mothers.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, we get to, I hope that every mother out there, whether it's my daughters, my own mother, my wife, know how much that they are appreciated for all the things that they do that often go unnoticed, but never underappreciated. So thank you.
We do have some chat stuff. Is Mark's wife is a saint. Putting up with him.
I have no idea.
I had no idea that you had kids that old. One, that means you're old. But that means you did something right, which is good. But yes, Mark's wife is a saint. Boom Boom saying, thank you, Sarah, for cleaning up after me. So that was
God.
I'm guessing that was something at some point. So that's pretty funny.
Yeah.
And so any story you want to share on that, because that sounds funny.
That was the night Preston got his name, Boom Boom. We had a little bit of he had a little birthday party when he turned 21 at my house, and about 2, maybe 3 weeks later, my wife found his stuff in his stomach around the toilet that had been left that he did not clean up well himself. So Sarah actually cleaned up after him. I told you not to drink Johnny Walker. You didn't listen, because Scotch is not a drink that you do on your 21st birthday. But you live and you learn. He's doing good now.
Boom, boom, boom.
I love that. I love it. All right. Well, as Joe says, cherish your grandma for sure. My grandmother as well is alive. And so celebrating her as well as my mother, who has been my biggest fan as in sports, which is what you want to be as a kid. You're growing up, you want to have, you always got to have a fan. And so your mom being your biggest fan was always special to me. Very special bond. I love her to death. My wife is awesome. As Mark, just as you said, the things that go unnoticed, and I know we're just kind of gushing at this moment, but the things that go unnoticed, I now wake up a little earlier because I want to get up in the morning and work out, right? I'm still an hour. When I wake up, an hour after she gets up, for whatever reason, she's kind of a psycho at that, but she gets up at 4:30 and does her workout. So she has time to get ready, plus do everything around the house that she wants to have done before the kids even wake up, which now that I'm getting up earlier, I see more of that. And it's a more of an appreciation for that for sure. And so it's good to, one, show appreciation, show some love, but also just celebrate them on a special day. But if you can, do it always, because that's going to be the best thing you could do for them, because I promise you, you're never going to outdo a mom. You're never, whether it's your wife, your mom, whoever, you're never going to outdo her. That's just plain and simple. Anything else, boys, that we want to check into, look into before we get out of here? Mark?
I don't have anything. I'm just excited about this weekend.
Sweet. Robbie?
Yeah. We got hockey playoffs, NBA playoffs, and if you're into wrestling, you got Backlash on Saturday night. It's going to be a nice weekend for sports as well.
No doubt. Should be a good time. Don't call your wife a psycho, in a good way, honey. In a good way. No doubt.
All the love in my heart, hon.
Yeah. You're kind of crazy for waking up at 4:30 in the morning. Not going to lie.
She's fine. We have some synergy there.
Yeah, you're crazy too. I'll tell everybody who wakes up that early just to go work out, crazy. Because I can't do it. I'll stay up till 4:30 if you need me to, but I ain't waking up at the 4:30. I'll wake up at 5:30. That's okay. But that's all we had today. We want to kind of have a little bit more fun. and show you what Weekend Wagers is all about. And so I hope you enjoy this show. And don't forget, Monday through Thursday, we have Weekday Wagers. We're going to be there giving you, our plays. It's a more condensed version of Weekend Wagers. It's a little bit of cutting up, but obviously we get to the point and give you your plays, hit on the biggest topics, any breaking news, and give you the daily dinger and then get out. That way it's a more bite-sized version. But I think it's doing good. It's taking off and to the point of it's kind of developing within itself. And that's really what we want to do. We want to be able to offer a little bit more content for everybody. But for Mark, Robby, and myself, it's been great just kind of hanging out with you guys. Another chance on Friday on a beautiful weekend. Let's have a good Mother's Day weekend. We'll see you all Monday. Don't miss out. Weekday Wagers. See you.